Here we go!
Hello, welcome to Nintendo Power Zone podcast. My name is Blooz, aka Brendan. With me we have Jayden and Windsong.
Hey, how's it going, folks?
So a few days ago there was the Nintendo Direct that just aired for September. A lot of big things that happened during that Direct. Few really cool 3DS titles, a few really cool Switch titles. And I have to say, for the Switch lineup, I am now, all of my expectations have been exceeded in terms of the game lineup for the future, and I'm super excited about that. We'll touch on that later. But first, anything you want to say?
Yeah, mostly just that we're here to reach out towards our hopefully growing fan base so that we can dive into the Direct and give our point of view of what we felt was important and what we're most anticipated about. Specifically, I have to confess, I haven't touched my 3DS in a long while, but after seeing this, it's definitely gonna give me an excuse to dust it off. And,
yes.
I know you mentioned that you like the Switch stuff. Personally, I'm actually a bit more excited for the 3DS stuff this time around.
Yeah, all right. Well, I can't say I blame you. There's Pokemon coming up. Metroid Samus Returns just came out. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to be playing pretty much all the rest of my free time.
I have to ask you, did you get the amiibos?
No, I didn't.
So,
it's on my list eventually.
I got to show you. I picked these up yesterday, and these are absolutely fantastic. This is the Samus. I know.
Right. I can't actually see you right now. I think your camera must be off or something.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I have to be off in order to do this. You'll see it in the record. But the coolest thing is this Metroid. I know they were talking about...
It's squishy, right?
Yeah, it's actually squishy. It is the weirdest thing.
So cool.
But
that's so cool.
Out of all the amiibo sculpts I've seen so far, these are easally the best.
Really?
They're really, really good for only being about like $15.
I'll check them out. Alright. That's super cool. So they're on my list. I'm a big amiibo collector. I sold a lot of them recently, unfortunately, from the Smash collection. I can't collect all of the Smash series and all the rest, so I had to downsize the Smash series.
Oh, I totally understand that.
Yeah. But maybe one day I'll get the storage space for them and buy them all back. So then I guess starting off with Pokemon, right?
Yep.
I think
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Yes, there wasn't too much that was revealed that was really new. In the first sort of part, they talked about how Necrozma was really big on the story. And we already sort of knew that. The only real detail we got with that was the confirmation of the new forms for the fusions with Solgaleo and Lunala. I think other than that, we already knew all of that, right?
A little bit. What I was more impressed with was in the trailer, the impression I got was that we already know that it's supposed to be like an alternate story, right?
Yes.
But what I thought was more interesting is, from my impression, is it seemed that it was going to be a little bit darker. I also kind of I'm hoping that my suspicion isn't wrong, but it almost seemed like there was a scene where Lusamine was by Sun in less of an antagonistic role, and so that'll be interesting if that actually comes to pass.
Yeah, that could be a great way to sort of completely 180 the story, honestly.
Yeah, and so I'm really hoping that when it comes to them mentioning that the story is going to be different, it's actually not just going to be a little bit different, but really different. That, I think, will definitely leave a better impression, because I have to confess, I didn't care for Sun and Moon.
I didn't either, honestly. As a competitive player, I didn't really like the meta as much. It was kind of just everything was sort of everywhere. But then as just someone who wanted to enjoy the game, it was very hand-holdy. Like, you get to one area, and then there's a cutscene where Hao and Lily are dragging you through the area, and they tell you exactly what you need to do. And it felt very, very hand-holdy. And I'm almost just hoping that Sun and Moon were meant to be hand-holdy, because they were getting a whole new audience with Pokemon Go, bringing everyone in, the 20th anniversary, whole shebang. They were getting a lot of new players to the mainstream series. So I'm hoping that what they would do was make Sun and Moon handholdy, and then once you say after Sun and Moon, be like, okay, you got your handhold, now you're on your own for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
That's an interesting perspective. Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective. For me, honestly, there was a lot about Sun and Moon that I didn't really like the Pokemon design, which I think... I kind of wonder if it has to do with the fact that that big Pokemon designer died several years back.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know if people remembered that story, but one of the guys died in a tragic accident. I think it was like a mountain climbing or something. But I wonder if that has something to do with it. I wasn't a fan of the story. I thought the setting was interesting, but I felt they dropped the ball in terms of the challenges. Even the captains, there was one captain towards the very end where they had like a plot hook that they totally left fall. It was the art chick. She's like, I don't usually do challenges, but I guess I better think of something. I'll see you later, and then you never see her again. And I'm like,
yeah, the fairy
really
trial captain, right? She was fairy, right? Yeah.
I don't know because you never got to fight her.
Yeah, you don't fight her. She sort of gives you the badge.
Yeah, I was like, really?
Or Z Crystal, which I do think Z Crystals are a big improvement. Well, after that, you get the Dragon Crystal, which doesn't even have... The trial captain's not even there for Dragon.
Yeah, I was just kind of like... Nintendo.
You just walk up and grab it, yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
And, I think for me the biggest problem was I didn't really... There were very few characters that I really resonated with me. I liked Lily... Because she was most of it because of the way they designed her was a deeply flawed character that recognized her flaws and she consistently strived to be better. Hao just annoyed the crap out of me. He was really
I wish Hao wasn't as bad as he was. I really like the idea of Hao.
Yeah.
But he was just presented so gross in terms of just how disgustingly happy and positive he was. Which you don't have to be negative, but he overdid it a bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being too mature for a Pokemon game.
Yeah. But that's part that you touched on something that the maturity. The reasons why X and Y and Black and White were so good because they had a storyline that resonated with people who were mature and people who weren't mature. They had characters who had signs of maturity and signs of immaturity. That's why they were good. And
you're right.
And Sun and Moon didn't have that to that extent, which is why I didn't really enjoy it as much.
I also felt like Sun and Moon was sort of locking away content. And they sort of threw it in your face, like there's going to be the middle gen game, and that's the other half of everything we have. Like, you have Necrozma, and they do this a lot, but you have Necrozma, they do nothing with him for the first games.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, well, there's got to be something with him. So at least we're not having a Zygarde, where he's like 2 gens away or whatever. But it's... I don't know. I felt like they're doing this thing where they're sort of saying, we're going to lock half the stuff away, and you have to buy the other games now. But, I don't know. Whatever. But, so, and then the second point that they shared in the Direct, though, we're getting too into our views on the story here.
No, but it was important because it explained what we wanted to see out of the new series.
Oh, yes, for sure.
To bring it back, to tie it all back together, these are our hopes for the storyline for Ultra Sun and Moon. To wrap that tie nightly with a bow.
Yes. But then other than that, we got a few nice little details on just the what's the word? We already knew about there would be new locations, new clothing items, but we also already knew about the Lycanroc distribution.
Yeah.
But that Lycanroc, we at least got a timeline range of when it will be available. So if you guys are interested in that Lycanroc that will evolve into the dusk form, it'll be from the release date and any time from before January 10th of 2018. So there's a long window to get that.
Yeah.
And then we have the Generation 2 games releasing on Virtual Console. The Generation 2 games are coming September 22nd this month. And if you buy them...
It's very soon.
Yes, it is very soon, yes. But if you get those, you get a Celebi in your copy of Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, or Ultra Moon, which is super cool that they're doing that. I don't know. And then lastly, I think it was just the reveal of the 2 new Ultra Beasts, which is really interesting. It's UB Burst and UB Assembly. Assembly is kind of interesting. He's like a walking factory, and UV Burst is sort of like a contained firework, from what I could tell, which is very interesting.
That was something I did like about Sun and Moon, were the Ultra Beast designs, and I'm glad to see that they're expanding upon it.
Yes, I am too.
Very
I also
interesting.
sort of like all the Ultra Beasts had this really weird commonality where they all had the same base stat total. And
I did not notice that.
Yeah, they all have like, I'll Google it really fast. They all have Ultra Beast base stats total. They're all the same, and that's sort of what also defines them as as Ultra Beasts. But it's what is it? What are the base? 570. They all have 570 base stat totals. So it's all divided up to make each one sort of directly, I don't say more powerful, but you look at something like Pheromosa, she's completely garbage in everything but attacks and speed, where she has 137 for attack, special attack, and 151 in speed. So it's her defenses and health are kind of garbage. So Ultra Beasts were created to be, you take this distribution of 570, and we cram it every way to make these really cool interactions with stats almost.
It's very
and
interesting.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see how they do it with these new ones. I almost want to say UV Burst has its own special attack that we saw with the firework, which should be kind of cool. We saw some kind of animation with it, but I don't know if it's an attack or not. But it'd be very cool to see. And then we also got the Pokeball 2DS XL.
Yes. I mean, that's I really like the new designs, the new
Yes.
2DS XLs, and if I wasn't such a fan of the 3D effect, I'm this tempted to get into those things.
Yes.
Very clever design.
Yes, I do like the design for it a lot. I like the 2DS XL a lot, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, I'm a fan. I don't think I'll buy it just because money, but maybe eventually.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. I have a bunch of 3DS systems that I blew money on that just kind of sit and I look at them because they're pretty, but I don't know if I can justify it for the 2DSs, so I'm totally in the same boat for you.
All right. And then, once again, going down the list, they touched on the remake of Mario and Luigi, Superstar Saga, which is super cool. Nothing really new is revealed other than the Goomba and Koopa Troopa amiibos.
Well, they also announced that I wasn't aware of before the Direct, but it's paired with the other game mode, the minis mode.
Bowser's Minions?
The Minions mode. That's the Bowser Minions.
Yes,
I don't remember that being in the original game, so having it paired in is kind of interesting, I think.
Oh, yeah, no, that was sort of the big deal, I thought, with what they revealed it at E3, was that you also got the Minions side of the story.
Yeah, so that's really cool.
Yeah. But other than the Koopa Troopa Goomba amiibos, nothing really stood out for me for that. But then they also revealed Kirby Battle Royale, which looks very interesting. Any thoughts on that?
You know, I'm not really used to Kirby being done in that format, and so it's definitely not the first sort of format that I would expect for a Kirby title, and so the fact that they went in that direction to me is intriguing. But I can see it kind of working.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I see it too. I see it being a lot of fun. Either if I like it or not, it'll be a lot of fun.
I'm hoping they still kind of have a small story mode, just because that was always my favorite part about Kirby. But honestly, I'm more excited for the Switch one. The Switch one looks really good.
The Switch one looks like the perfect Kirby game, honestly.
You know, for me, my favorite title of all time, well, aside from the first one, because the first one was so groundbreaking.
Oh, yes.
The Kirby 64.
Yes.
And Kirby 64 was so good that...
And you could mix the powers like you can in the new one.
Yeah, but it's... Kirby 64, I honestly don't feel that any Kirby since then has really been able to live up to the standard that it set.
I'm gonna say you're probably right. Return to Dreamland came pretty close, though. I will say.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple that's been close, but
Yes.
there was something
but
about the
never-
64.
yeah.
Maybe it's just nostalgia, or maybe it's the era, but it captured something that nothing else
Yes.
was able to get. So I don't know what that was. But
I'm gonna say Kirby's sort of been a weirder series, though, because you have all these traditional Kirby's, and then you have Rainbow Curse,
Canvas
one
Curse?
after it on the Wii U. Canvas Curse, yes. And then you also have Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah.
And none of those really Kirby's Dream Course. You have a lot of Kirby games that don't play like Kirby games. And it's sort of like the equivalent to Mario Kart, and Mario Sports games. But they aren't Mario.
We can't forget the best Kirby game of all time, which is the Kirby, the racing one. Kirby. Oh, I'm blanking on the name.
Air Ride.
Air Ride
Yes.
is honestly, it's my favorite Kirby game. Like,
Alright.
not non-traditional Kirby. Well,
Yes. Mm-hmm,
honestly, I like it better than non-traditional ones
Mm-hmm.
because the city mode was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was that game.
Was my time. Like, I go to my friend's house. Melee and Kirby's Air Ride. A bit of them playing through Sunshine while I watched.
Yeah.
I didn't have a GameCube. My friends all did, so I'd go to their house.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No,
But,
it's fine. I went back and played the classics. It's fine.
Yeah.
I did. I go back. I'm
But,
well-rounded.
That would be that was my favorite game. And after Kirby for the Switch, if anyone at Nintendo is listening, please give us a remaster of Kirby's Air Ride.
I kind of like a sequel.
Or a
But
sequel. I mean, shit.
I would love a sequel. New courses. But you gotta keep everything sort of still intact, where you feel that it's the same designs, but it's new.
Oh yeah.
Maybe some new air rides. Maybe add on to city trials. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
That could be a lot of fun.
That would be fantastic. But I mean, I'd settle for a remaster.
I would too. There's a lot of things I'd settle for a remaster or like a trilogy for. Like I'm waiting for a Pikmin trilogy to come out.
That'd be fantastic.
Right? But we'll have to wait and see.
Moving on from Kirby, the Atlas, they quickly moved over. They briefly touched upon all the games that they're going to be releasing on the 3DS.
Yes.
Got the new Etrian Odyssey, got Alliance Alive, got Radiant Historia, and the new SMT, of course.
Yes.
Which one of those is really the one you're looking for to the most?
Etrian Odyssey 5, 100%. I have played ever since I think 3, and then I got 4, Untold 2, and then I got the Mystery Dungeon as well. And I want to go back and play the original 2 if I can find them.
Oh, they're the same as the Untold.
What?
They're the same as Untold.
Really, I didn't know that.
So, Untold and what is it? What is the second one? They Untold is a remake. Untold 2. They're remakes of 1 and 2.
Oh.
So if you played Untold, then you've played 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I have. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I also played Radiant Historia before. That was pretty good. I liked it. I'm almost considering picking up that special edition that they have.
Oh yeah, I definitely picked that up.
'Cause I'm a sucker for art books. I'm a sucker for art books.
Yeah, me too. I am in the same boat. I have more than I know what to do with, to be honest.
Oh, but I love flipping through them.
Yeah. It's I spend too much money on it. And part of it is like I'm a sucker for Atlas. Atlas does so much good stuff that I find
Atlas
myself
level 5.
Yeah. I find myself just throwing money at them to support them. The other big one is Nipponichi Software.
This guy.
Yeah. Not just
this guy, they have that one. They're coming out with the penny pinching princess, right?
Yeah, that's another one. The one company that I wish would publish more games for. Maybe not the company.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think they technically do develop for. But Iffy would be great if we saw more from them.
I don't know Iffy. What do they make?
They're mostly known for the Neptunia series.
Oh, okay. No, Neptunia. Okay.
But they're mostly tied with Sony.
Got it.
Which is unfortunate, but I'd love to see something come out for the Switch from them. That would be fantastic. Back to Atlas, though. Etrian looks good. Alliance Alive is the one I'm very curious about, simply because we don't know anything about it.
No, don't.
I know it's being developed by Furyu, which is a Japanese company that I've played some of their other titles, and they tend to be well refined from a just a purely like functioning. They tend to function with little to zero bugs.
Got it.
But I mean, here's hoping that it's going to be good.
Yeah, it was the first time I'd heard about it, so I'm gonna probably pick it up at some point, but I don't know anything to expect from it right now either.
All I've seen so far is that it's supposed to be a traditional RPG, which I mean that could mean anything at this point.
Yeah.
You know? So that'll be interesting.
Yes, definitely.
Other things to mention that we saw. The thing the direct briefly touch on was Minecraft.
Yes, and I thought that's really huge. It's a little late, but finally getting a game like Minecraft in the 3DS is really just important in the 3DS's history, I guess, and its reputation. It's a portable version of Minecraft on a system that normally wouldn't have been able to handle it. They didn't really know how to make it work, anything with it. And they also got bought by Microsoft, so it's kind of that whole relations thing. But it's here, and it was there right after the Direct, too, which was super awesome.
Yeah, so that's good. I'm glad to see that. I'm really hoping that they have the cross-functionality between the Switch and the 3DS version, because that would be
super
that would be
cool.
fantastic. So I'm hoping that works.
Yes.
I've got nothing more to say on Minecraft.
No, I think it's really important for being on 3DS, but I don't have anything else to say. It's Minecraft. Everyone knows it at this point.
Yeah. No, I totally understand.
Who doesn't, right? And then we have Mario Party, right? They've collected all of 1 through 10's best games and put them into one kind of package, I guess. The one thing I kind of don't know, though, is are they just a collection of mini games, or are there going to be like boards we can play on?
That was also my big question. I really hope that they give us the entire full Mario Party game treatment, because if they don't, it'll feel very lackluster.
Empty.
Yeah, very empty.
I mean, at that point, I'd be willing to pay like $15 or $20 for a minigame collection.
Yeah.
But I'd be willing to pay $35 to $40 for a whole Mario Party.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping they give us the full game experience. Like I made the mistake of buying the first Mario Party that they released in the 3DS, and I was very sorely disappointed by the way they handled the boards. I didn't like the watered down board version as being the sole method of playing. I would have liked it as an add-on feature to the traditional board.
Yes.
But that was not the case with that game. So I'm hoping that they give us at least both board options. That would be really nice.
Yes. I'm also sort of thinking, are these really the top 100 games? Because when you sort of think about it, it's not us who are choosing these games. There's not a poll we can all pick from.
Yeah.
It would be nice, but we're sort of putting our faith in Nintendo's ability to pick the best Mario Party games, which may be hit or miss, honestly. And then it also comes down to, are we getting 10 from each, or are we getting like 1 from only one, and then like 6 from another, and 12 from I don't know what, but are we gonna get all even amounts from each? I don't know. It leaves a lot of questions, honestly.
Definitely, but I think that the best way to combat that is just don't think about it.
Yes,
because as soon as you try and pick it up, then you're gonna notice it, and you will never be able to unsee. So.
True. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No, but it would be interesting from a purely academic standpoint to figure out how did they go about choosing this, which sample size did they use, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I totally see your point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on from the Mario Party top collection, this is one of the big sections of the big meat of the direct, and that is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which, if you haven't played the first two, you have missed out, and I feel bad for you.
Yes, no, I do too, because they're honestly masterpieces. And coming off of X, speaking of, I loved X so much that I was worried that Chronicles 2 wouldn't be as good. And part of that was, we know in an interview, I don't remember which interview, we'll probably link it back later, but in an interview, we were told that Xenoblade and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 are very story-focused, whereas Xenoblade Chronicles X is more exploration-focused. And I heard that, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to like it as much personally." I love a good story, but I felt like sacrificing the exploration would not be as good. And I was kind of skeptical about this Chronicles 2, and then just seeing this direct, this showcase, and seeing the exploration and how big the world is this time, I have no doubt in my mind now. This convinced me that I have nothing to fear. Monolith Soft knows what they're doing, and I should rejoice when I pick up this game. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, from a story standpoint, one of the things I was very pleasantly pleased with seeing was the fact that it looks. I'm going to make the assumption here that it looks as if it's a prequel to Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, because they mention a lot about the different. I can't remember the giants, the beasts, the titans.
The Titans, yes.
The Titans.
And they're moving at this point, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, yes. Okay,
because in Chronicles, the first one, all the Titans had pretty much been wiped out.
Yeah.
And you only know of two.
Two that are sort of frozen in time, yeah.
Yeah. But this one looks like it's before, because not only are there more than two Titans, but they actually kind of reference the Titans that show up in the first Xenoblade Chronicles, and you can actually see some of the zones that look very, very familiar. Like I'm blanking on what they actually named the race, but the bird people with the weird wing head things, the long ears. Mm-hmm. You actually see in the trailer, you see the city where they're all located, and you can see, oh hey, that looks very, very, very close to their location in the first Xenoblade Chronicles. So that is really interesting. I mean, even if it's not a sequel, even if it's not a prequel, but actually a sequel, that would also be very interesting to see too. So I mean, either which way, I'm happy.
And you even might look at Rex looking out at the world tree where Elysium is, and then the original Xenoblade Chronicles where the Monato's just in the grass looking out into the clouds, looking at the Titans, and it's maybe the world tree at some point gets replaced with the Titans, and I don't know, but it's the same scene, but different times or something. I don't know. That's a very good theory. I almost wanted to say that I feel like since they name it 2, it should have to be a sequel.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a prequel, give it something that's not 2. Yeah. But whatever.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that we've had unusual naming mechanisms. The other thing I was very well, I'm hoping that it stays this way, but from what I can tell, it looks like the fiasco from Xenoblade Chronicles X in terms of their censorship has not carried over. I'm hoping that they learned that people were really pissed off, myself included. And it doesn't look as if things are as censored, or even if they're censored at all in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm hoping that it stays that way, and that they're just not using Japanese footage, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Because that's always a possibility that they're using Japanese footage because that's what they have now, and in the final release they're going to cut and censor things, which will suck. But
all right. Although you have to keep in mind, like, part of the big censorship was Lynn in X. She was big on being censored because she is kind of too young. So
I get the arguments for it, but from someone who's very story driven.
Purist. Yeah.
It's even even something as small as that can really alter things, and even
not getting that authentic translation even could.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X actually had some really terrible translations. There was the first boss that you basically see, the one who they characterize as the glutton. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yes, yeah.
He's actually not a glutton. If you're listening to the Japanese one, he's saying it like mockingly. He's saying sarcastically, like, I'm gonna eat you. His character archetype is really kind of like a manly man, because he's taken, after spoiler alert, he's like the blacksmith or from the main settlement.
Okay.
And if you look at the character archetype, blacksmiths are, burly, manly men.
Oh, true.
And
okay,
so
I see that.
that was more his character was supposed to be like, I'm brash, headstrong, manly man. Think of like Gimli from Lord of the Rings. That was supposed to be his character type, and they completely lost that in the translation.
Wow. Okay.
So I mean, this is one of my big problems with whoever did the localization for the original Xenoblade and even Xenoblade X.
So hopefully this is fixed. Right?
Yeah. And even Fire Emblem Fates, they had some really awful localization, and I hope they fired whoever has been in charge of that, because they've been awful. And
isn't it the Treehouse who's in charge of it? This, in general, they do localizations, right?
So that's where most people say, but I haven't really been able to find any concrete proof. It's all, hearsay.
You're right. Yeah, true. Alright.
So, in Xenoblade, more on Xenoblade Chronicles, we saw that we have the Collector's Edition, which looks fantastic.
Yes.
If you haven't pre-ordered
I
yet...
have to get that Collector's Edition.
Have you pre-ordered it?
No.
Okay.
Is it available to pre-order?
Oh, it was. Yeah, I don't know if it is anymore.
It was. Oh, so I already missed it. Shoot.
So, it was available about 15 minutes to an hour after the direct finished up.
All right.
So,
well, I couldn't even have bought it anyways at that point, because I was busy. I had class or something. But yeah. I had watched it like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. That happens though. Hopefully there's still some available. And we also saw there's going to be a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 controller, which looks absolutely fantastic. Yes,
it does. It probably blows a lot of limited edition controllers out of the water for Xbox and Sony too. Honestly, it's one of my favorite controllers I've seen in terms of the limited edition design. So
I was hoping to hold off for a Zelda one, but now that we're seeing Xenoblade, I think I'm just gonna have to grab the Xenoblade one and then maybe grab a second one of Zelda if it comes out. Yes. But we'll see. More.
I get that.
Did you have anything more to say on Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I mean,
when they sort of went through and explained things, so they talked about like the world and the people, the different like kingdoms and the different titans and how they interact with the world, and I thought that was very interesting to learn. And about the titans themselves. Once again, seeing the exploration that did really convince me. So I'm really happy about the exploration. They touched a bit on the battle system, and even though it's sort of regurgitated information, they said it and presented it in a way this time that I felt more excited about the battle system this time with the whole blades that you use. And so that made me kind of happy to see the battle system looks really good.
It didn't look terribly different from the original 2.
No.
But
it's slightly different though, yes.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that...
No, not at all.
And honestly, the first 2 were so good that... and it was such a unique system that it would be a shame to move away from that.
Yes, you're right there.
So I'm glad about that. One of the things we did get to see as well we got to hear was we got to hear some of the voice acting.
From Rex, and then his Titan.
Yeah, the Titan's voice has grown on me some of the other minor characters that they introduced, I wasn't a huge fan of the voice. So I'm hoping that we get a dual audio option, just because.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, English voice acting is good. It's getting better, but I still don't think it's anywhere near as good as the Japanese voice acting. Just in general, they manage to match characters with voices in a way that very, very few companies here tend to do. I think Atlas, in my opinion, is really the only one who does it right.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with that.
Nintendo has some okay ones, but they're not Atlas tier.
Yeah. Especially since not many Nintendo games even have a lot of voice acting either, and the ones that are fully voice acted get kind of trashed on late match other M, etc. So it's kind of, you're right, it's hit or miss with Nintendo, but still.
I mean, I think in terms of ones that I've played through, Chronicles X had pretty decent voice acting. They didn't make me cringe the way Fire Emblem's Fate did. I could not stand the voice acting in Fates. That one was pretty awful, in my opinion.
Can we actually talk about the actual voices, though? Are they all Irish this time? I feel like they're Irish mostly, right?
I don't know if
and his Titan seemed Irish to me, anyways.
I don't know, to be honest, because so when it comes to the series, the original Xenoblade Chronicles was localized by Europe, right? And so that's why they got all
that's
European
why they're all British.
Which makes sense. But I don't know if it was the same team moving forward. I assume that it was because of the success of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 that X actually got more care, and so I assume they got bigger name. I actually haven't looked up at the list, but I assume they got bigger names. I could have sworn I heard like Yuri Lowenthal in the trailer for Chronicles 2. So I'm assuming that they're just doing accents for the different Titan locations, the people, the different races. That's what I'm assuming. That's very possible. But I don't know. I really don't know. It'll be interesting to see, though, when that game comes out.
Got it. But I only really asked because I think it might be really cool to sort of look at how we have this Xenoblade world, if you will. It doesn't really mix together from what we know, but maybe it's more like if Ireland is sort of really close to England, but America, where X would be, because they all had American voices for the most part, American accents. We that's sort of all the way over here, so we sort of look at the close relationship of Ireland and the UK and like England, and they're very close. But then, given America sort of off over there, sort of could relate to the distance of where they are in the world of Xenoblade almost.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. That's an interesting theory.
Like, not even canonically, but just as a little nod to things.
Yeah, that'd be interesting if they did that intentionally.
And every single game would have different sort of accents, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting to see. Who knows, though? I mean...
Yeah.
That'd be very interesting to see. We'll find out more, I suppose.
Cool, yeah. Yes.
But other than that, I think it's, for me, it's a wait to see for that title. I'm picking it up, of course, but...
Yes. Who isn't?
Yeah. Well,
if you have a Switch, pick it up.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. And then we got news for a Splatoon update. We have Snapper Canal and the return of Kelp Dome. Kelp Dome's been tweaked a little bit by the looks of it, which is super nice. And Snapper Canal reminds me a lot of Camp Triggerfish, where you have the little divider. You can't get across to the other side without crossing in some fashion. It's not just a straight run over there, which I loved about Camp Triggerfish personally. I wish more stages were sort of like that. But so I'm super excited about these two new stages, or one new stage, one returning stage. And then we got news for a new Brella weapon, which the Brella has been my favorite weapon right now. I'm absolutely in love with it. I wouldn't rate his skyrocket since I started using the Brella. And it's just so fun.
My loss rate is skyrocketed. I'm terrible with it. Like, I like the idea. I love the idea, and I love the fact that they're giving us more support for the umbrella weapons in total.
Yes.
But God, am I awful with it? Like, because it's a shotgun, and shotguns in it's basically a shotgun, yeah. But shotguns in
less
Splatoon,
shotgun than like the slosher. Slosher is kind of weird to think about as a shotgun, but
yeah.
who aims with a slosher? You just
It's
throw
true.
it out. You know?
But in terms of like functional design, the umbrella seems more shotgunny to me because it's got that spread and it's got the one trigger firing mechanism.
Yes.
But God, I'm awful with it. I want to be good at it, but I'm awful at it. So, it's nice to see that they're.
That's me with every role in class.
No, I totally get it, and I think I saw that the bubbler is returning.
Yes, I think so.
Along with the umbrella weapon, so that's cool.
Something similar, at least. I don't think they call it the bubbler, because all of them have to be new for the sequel. But something along those lines, I think. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see. I don't remember exactly when it's supposed to drop, but it should be dropping pretty soon, and that'll change up the meta a little bit further. I was disappointed though that they didn't mention the next Splatfest because I know Japan just had the Nuggets versus Fries, and I was kind of hoping we'd see something similar to that, but we didn't sadly. So here's open though.
Yeah, definitely. We got a confirmation trailer for Lyn from Fire Emblem Warriors, right?
Yeah, we also saw some footage for not just the Fire Emblem Warriors on the Switch, but also on the 3DS, which is looking pretty good.
Yes.
It always amazes me that I think it's Koei Tecmo.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's Koei Tecmo.
They do the Warriors and Samurai, whatever.
Yeah, the Musou series.
Hack and slashes. Yes.
But it always impresses me how they were able to take a game like Hyrule Warriors and throw it to the 3DS, and you really didn't see much loss in.
No, you really didn't.
In playability, that's fantastic, and I'm glad they're giving us the same treatment for Fire Emblem Warriors. I'm hoping that the tradition continues with their titles, and they give us dual audio as well, because some of the voices that they've actually had in Fire Emblem are some of my favorite Japanese voice actors, and I'd love to hear them again. That'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
But that looks pretty solid.
Yeah, and then Fire Emblem Warriors. But then after that, we got something I wasn't quite expecting, and I was kind of not sure how I felt about it. Snipperclips Plus. I was kind of like, I don't want to buy the whole game over again, but they are having its DLC for the original owners, which is super nice to have. I'm very excited for the fact that I don't have to buy it all over again.
Me too.
But Snipperclips was great. It was great, and I'm gonna touch it back up on this later, but. It helps to round out the Switch as a great couch co-op title, from all the rest of the games that are out on the Switch right now. Couch co-op is still something that I just love. Friendship Enders. Like Mario Party, Mario Kart, Friendship Enders, my favorite. Smash Bros. Friendship Enders to an extent, and just like, but puzzle Friendship Enders, couch co-op are kind of like. You doesn't get much worse than that because you're yelling at each other. Like, clip me here. No, snip me there.
Yeah, and it's it's going to be made even worse with the new update because now they have even weirder shapes, and so that's going to be interesting. Let me tell you, if you have a Switch and if you're either married or have someone that you're living with that's not really into video games, it's a great way to
introduce them
to lose your Switch to your wife and or boyfriend or husband. It's a great way to lose it because it's it's really, really cute and they love it. But I'm glad that for you and me, people who already bought the first one, the expansion is going to be made much more cheaper,
accessible.
Cheaper. That's the word I'm looking for. Last to mention, very briefly, is something they touched upon was New Apollo Justice, or it's not new, it's a re-release of the original Apollo Justice, which is good because we haven't seen that's one of the unfortunate franchises that Capcom has
under the rug.
Yeah,
under the rug.
Like so many things that Capcom has done.
Yeah. Oh, Mega Man, don't keep me started.
Oh yeah, it's such a damn shame. But
Yeah.
it's good to see Apollo Justice come back.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, Apollo wasn't nearly as interesting as Phoenix Wright. But I mean, I love the universe that they set. They set up, and I'm really glad to see to be able to experience it again on on a Nintendo system. So that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I guess moving on to the bigger ones.
Yeah, so I decided to sort of lump these all together, but we have games like Morphe's Law, Rocket League, Skyrim, Wolfenstein, Doom, LA Noire, Payday, and Payday 2, rather, and Arena of Valor. And these are all sort of third-party games that are coming to the Switch that are really just really crucial. The Switch is getting, and I mentioned at the very beginning, my expectations have been shattered, and I'm in love with all the games we're getting for the Switch. And just seeing these games coming has got me super excited. Because you don't normally get games from Bethesda. We don't normally get games from Rockstar on Nintendo consoles. So seeing them supporting the Switch is absolutely huge.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
I mean, a lot of people say that first party is the console seller, and that's true. First party games are the console seller, but third party games are what keep people coming back to the console.
Yes, exactly.
And so the fact that Nintendo has this third party support is very important to them. We need to hope though that they continue to get the support.
Yes, and it's also worth mentioning that some of these are sort of games that have been out for years. We have Skyrim and LA Noire, Doom, etc. And even though they are out, they've been out for ages. Who doesn't still love Skyrim? And to be able to take that on the go is very huge. Looking at LA Noire, we have it's been sort of redone for the Switch to an extent. We have motion control support for Joy-Cons, HD Rumble, and touchscreen controls for portable mode. And I'm really a fan of how they've sort of given this a lot of polish and work for the Switch version. And I'm really excited about Rockstar sort of taking notice that we can do things with this and not just porting it over like the rest.
Yeah,
and I'm very happy about that.
It's interesting. I remember there's a gaming group that I'm a part of on just Facebook because yes, that's what you do when you're on Facebook out of boredom. But a lot of people are like, haha, the Switch is getting LA Noire, the game sucked ass. I'm like, no, you need to back up a little bit. First of all, LA Noire, just because the ending was terrible doesn't mean that the game itself, overall, the game was actually pretty good, except for the ending.
Yes.
Second of all, it's not so much that it's LA Noire, it's the fact that Rockstar, you're missing the big picture, Rockstar is putting a game on a Nintendo console. That is the bigger picture, and that is what you need to take notice of. And hopefully, this is a trend that will continue.
Yes,
hopefully
and I there's no doubt in my mind anymore that it will continue. We have major players in the field here, even if some still are more skeptical. We have EA, 2K, Ubisoft, Rockstar, Bethesda. With these major players in Capcom to an extent, not really though, more Japanese front. But so we have these major players. There's no way that we're not going to keep getting support unless the Switch just suddenly dies off, which I don't see happening with how great the sales have been.
Yeah.
And with the holiday season coming up, it just doesn't seem likely to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, they'll probably hit a wall at some point, unfortunately, where the hardware just can't keep up with the new stuff.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo already has a contingency plan for that. I mean, we didn't think they'd release a new 3DS with better RAM, so I wouldn't be entirely surprised if in 4 years we see a new Switch or a Switch.
Maybe that is possible. Yes.
Switch Plus or something like that. And at that point, I'd probably buy another one. But I mean, going back to the games that we saw and tying that into the weaker hardware, yes, let's we can't deny it. Switch has weaker hardware than the PS4 and the Xbox.
Yes,
but
yes, it did.
When you take that into fact, or when you consider that fact, and you look at the screenshots and the video footage for Doom, which is a relatively new game, it's only been out for like a year and a half, 2 years.
This version of it, yes.
Yeah.
The original Doom is
yeah,
way
but
back
this is the new
one that
Doom.
looks phenomenal. Yes,
If you've seen the footage of it running on the
it's
Switch,
very powerful.
it looks fucking fantastic.
Amen. Yes.
In some of the footage I was seeing, I actually preferred some of the effects that they had on the Switch version over the PlayStation 4 version, which was really interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a article I was reading today where some of the Bethesda guys were saying that this isn't just a direct port. We actually had to go in and modify a whole bunch of things, and we basically made it for the Switch, quote unquote, made it for the Switch, which I don't know how much that means in terms of development process. But in any case, you can see the care that they put into the game for the Switch. That'll be it'll mean a lot for the sales, I think.
Yes. But then another reason why this is so huge is that's just the third-party support, not just the games themselves, but we're rounding out the Switch library, so going back to, once again, the Snipperclips Great Couch Co-op title. We have all of these great Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey coming out, but you have all of these genres now that's the Wii U didn't have good selection. Whereas now we have a lot of competitive titles with Morphe's Law, Rocket League, a MOBA that just got announced, Arena of Valor.
Arena of Valor.
And, you have Splatoon, but you have fighting games, too. Ultra Street Fighter 2, Pokken, ARMS, potentially Smash Bros. We don't know, but yeah. And so you're given a whole range of hardcore competitive titles now to pick from on the Switch, which is very huge. I know Nintendo wanted to get into the competitive gaming scene. Esports was something they've been wanting to get into with the Switch, so that's very huge that they have these supporting titles now. And then, so you have these competitive titles, and you have these games like Snipperclips, which are just fun to chill out with a friend, or RPGs you get lost in for hours upon hours.
Oh yeah,
and racing games to just go on and race, I don't know. And you have platformers, you have all these good genres now in all these games. That there's just something for everyone and something for every mood or taste that you're feeling or are in. And it's what made me so attracted to the 3DS. I was an early ambassador, but in the middle of the 3DS's life cycle, being able to just get lost in RPG or play Smash Bros. Or just anything across that spectrum that 3DS had was very enticing to me. That's why it was one of my favorite systems.
Definitely. And we definitely can't forget one of the key target audiences or target market for the Switch is nostalgia.
Millennials. Oh yeah.
Nostalgia. I mean, they've released so many classic SNK. I mean, we have King of Fighter all the way up until 2000 now released.
Yeah,
we've got a whole bunch of niche shmup games. We've got a whole bunch of SNK arcade titles, and that's only going to be increased with the other thing that they announced, which sadly wasn't
arcade titles.
Yes, which sadly wasn't the Virtual Console, but it's still good. We still get Nintendo arcade titles, which again is targeting that nostalgia market, which is fantastic, I think.
I'm still so. In terms of Virtual Console, I'm kind of upset that it won't be a thing. But if I'm going to be getting Virtual Console, quote unquote, through my online subscription, I will pay that subscription for Virtual Console instead of the online.
Oh yeah, I totally see what you're saying. But I mean, we'll find out more coming up. That was another thing I was disappointed about with the Direct. We didn't actually get more information about the Virtual Console yet. I'm assuming that'll come closer to the end of the year when they talk more about the online thing, because that's supposed to be coming up in 2018, and the rumor is that tied into that is going to be Virtual Console. So hopefully we see something then.
I heard, or not heard, but my theory that I've discussed with people is that they're going to wait to make it paid until Smash Bros. Hits, so it'll be free up until kind of Smash Bros. And if you want to play for glory, you gotta pay. Instead of what I think So we'll see. We'll wait and see for when we hear details about that potentially, or vice versa. Hear details about the online system.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Because people play Smash online. There's no way they wouldn't sell online subscriptions through that, you know?
Oh yeah, no, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about in terms of third party? We got the 2K games coming out.
No.
All right.
Yeah, the 2K games are once again helping round that out too, though. We talked about the arcade titles. We got a look at the new amiibo and what they bring. They bring sort of headgear for the ancient armor, or for the ancient armor. And they have functionality, which is kind of weird. That those armor sets aren't just cosmetic. So, and I think they'll tie into the story in some fashion too.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to those amiibo a lot. My main sort of series I want to collect right now is just the Zelda series.
Oh yeah.
I collect the Zelda series. I'm set. So all these new Breath of the Wild amiibo are.
They're fantastic. They're fantastic.
Oh, they look amazing. Yeah, you're right. But I'm very excited to play this new chapter. From what it looks like, it's like a whole new chapter or something.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited to experience whatever they have in store for us with that. But we didn't get much details, I don't think. So not much I can really talk about either.
All right, moving on. We have another one of the big titles that I know that a lot of people are interested in. Project Octopath Traveler. These are developed by the same guys who did Bravely Default. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it looks pretty phenomenal. I gotta say.
Yes. The moment I saw it like on the screen, on the first like reveal ever, I was captivated. It was one of my most anticipated Switch games. I knew nothing about it. It was like I knew nothing, but I wanted it so bad.
You know, so I gotta confess, I'm in the opposite boat.
Really?
When I saw it wasn't the footage that hooked me. It was some of the concept art, because I like that particular artist. I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting. And even though they showed us some in-game footage, was it E3? I think it was E3, right?
I think it was the very first like Switch event that they held, where they first did the Switch details, right? Which I don't remember when it was.
So yeah, it might have been that one. It might have been that one.
I'm pretty sure it was definitely that, but.
So yeah, but when I saw the stuff there, I didn't really see anything in game that really stuck out to me. It wasn't until this recent one that I was really like, oh, that's interesting. And what it was the backgrounds, because it's not quite 2D, but it's also not quite 3D, and the way it shows up was very unique.
Yes, it's the HD 2D style that they called it. And I think you're right. The backgrounds do look phenomenal. In the demo that I played, I didn't see any backgrounds that literally look good. But in the trailers we saw, those arcing landscapes and some architecture for the buildings looks crazy, and I love it in that style.
Yeah.
Given a lot of depth too, from the foreground and background, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really makes that pop.
That'll be super interesting to see how that actually plays out. I'm also curious about the battle system too. It's it reminded me a little bit of Bravely Default, or a lot of Bravely Default
with the boost orbs. Yes.
Yeah, it's honestly like it's been so long since I've played Bravely Default. I don't remember anything about it other than the fact that the combat system I really liked, because it was different, but I can't remember actually how it was different. That shows you how long it's been since I played it. So
in Bravely Default, you were given the options Brave or Default. So if you picked Brave, you get to attack multiple times, up to like 3 or 4 times for every Brave you took. Or you could Default, which is sort of like guarding. But when you guard, you get like an orb, and that orb, by consuming it, you could attack multiple times by being Brave. And if you wanted, you could sort of go in debt to your orbs a bit, like you go in the negative a bit and sort of take them out early, but then you can't use them later.
Yeah.
And that was similar. I think I liked the Project Octopath Traveler battle system more, because we're given a bit of depth with the breaks and the multi-hits and weaknesses and whatnot. But then with the boost system, it's very similar to Bravely Default, where you're given a boost orb after the end of each turn, which would be like defaulting in Bravely Default. So, but then you consume that when you want to use a boosted attack or boosted move, which has a greater, more powerful effect. So, and even though it goes up each turn, you could, in theory, just use it and it comes back to you. which I didn't like. But then I started thinking about how this would play out with a whole party of characters. If you're given a whole party of characters, you end up consuming one for each character. I'm going to assume. And so it's like, okay, so which character do I want to get their attack boosted, etc. And how do I sort of conserve my orbs for the next turn when I really want to use everyone's boost attacks?
It forces you into a much more strategic corner, huh?
Yes, and so it seemed very simple from just a single party, one person. And then I thought of that, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool how you can do that. And then on top of that, there's actually, like, you can break them by hitting them with weaknesses, which sort of stuns them for a turn and makes them take double damage or something next turn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You have to discover their weaknesses, too, by using that, like, weaknesses on them, which I thought was cool. But then they also showed two other effects. It's like, I don't remember, but in addition to the break effect, there was some other effect or two. Oh, I don't remember, unfortunately.
I think you're talking about the storyline one, right? Where each character has a different unique thing within the story, or are you talking specifically combat?
I was specifically combat. I was going to touch on that later, though. No, it was like there was other things you could do to your, like, status effects you could put on your opponent or something.
Got it.
I don't remember, unfortunately. I had them, I lost them, you know?
Yeah, happens.
But, so I'm really looking forward to that system because it looks very fun. It was so fun to fight in that game, honestly.
Yeah.
Which some RPGs just don't do a good job of. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, like you can only do basic attacks that don't feel satisfying for so long. I don't know. But so that's why I love Octopath Traveler. But then we're given these effects that the characters have in the overworld, where Primrose can seduce or allure, as they call it.
Yeah, that was the word they used.
Yes. Characters into following her, which allows her to move people blocking her path, take people places, etc. Which I thought was very, very interesting mechanic.
Yeah.
To have it as an overworld thing. And then we're given
he's some sort of captain guy or like some mercenary.
Yeah.
But he's the one who can duel
people. He's like the greatest knight in all the land, but yeah, so you can pretty much challenge anyone in the overworld to a duel. So if there's some guy blocking the door, you duel him and he lets it through. Or other sort of puzzle solving elements, I'm sure. And I thought that was very cool. And you're also given a bit of like...
No, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I'm curious.
You also see...
So that's the problem with this system.
Okay.
Go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah. With Primrose, her allure has a chance to fail though, and if you fail, your reputation in the town goes down.
Yeah.
And with the knight guy, I forgot his name. If you don't win the battle, there's a negative penalty there too. And I thought that was sort of cool. How it's not just like, oh, well, everything's fine if this doesn't work. I thought that's kind of cool.
No, it's important to have consequences for your actions. I mean, just from in gaming in general, games were fun because there are consequences.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's important to do that for this mechanic.
Yes. And you can even... The ability to move people and challenge people also plays into that. Or you could challenge someone, I'm sure, who's really, really important, and if you defeat them, they might sort of not be important or something. They might
be interesting to see.
You might have screwed something up.
Yeah.
And I am interested to see how they do that. Or is it going to be like they faint or something, or will they just be gone? Or I don't know. I thought that'd be cool.
But what I was going to say earlier is we've only seen 2. There are 8 characters.
And there are 8. Mm-hmm.
What are the other 6?
We don't even have a final title yet either. So it's also something.
That's true.
So 6 characters still need to be revealed in a title. But we also already have a demo too, so we know it's kind of almost done, right?
Sort of.
I get a demo. I get them not wanting to reveal everything and not giving you too much fun with the demo because you want you to buy the whole game. So I get that.
Yeah, and so we'll see how much we get. I mean, I don't know if this is the best example because of all the drama that ensued through the development process. But I mean, Mighty Number 9, we had a working demo really early on, and then took 2 years after that for the game to actually come out. So, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen. But development process is not always the smoothest. So,
You're right.
But I mean, I'm hoping. It's Square Enix. They tend to do a pretty okay job of well, except unless it's Kingdom Hearts 3. But some of their other titles, they tend to do okay of getting them out the door in time. So we'll see. More on the Square Enix path. If you're done with Project Octopath Traveler, we've got Dragon Quest Builders coming up.
Quite yet.
All right.
I want to also just touch on my complaints with it, I guess.
Wait, have you played the demo, right?
Yes, I have played the demo.
Okay, because I haven't touched it yet, so please complain away.
So just I don't like how I'm very fond of newer RPG systems where anyone can really do anything in this world, and I get only having Primrose allure or seduce people is kind of more to her character. But I think it'd be very cool if anyone could seduce anyone could challenge anyone, not just these specific characters. And I kind of want to see, maybe not an Octopath Traveler, but if they could make a sequel or something, or a spiritual successor, I don't know, where I am given a bit more of that freedom. I think that'd be cool, just because I want to see interactions. I want to explore more, have fun with what you can do in games.
Oh yeah,
and
I see.
And I totally understand why they're doing it, but I don't like that as much. I'm more neutral on it, I guess, but I wish I had the option at the very least.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and then I don't like the voice acting. I don't want to call it voice acting. I don't want to call it the story or the tone, but for Primrose's, hopefully I'm not spoiling too much for you. But for like Primrose's chapter, there's this master. And you, it's very heavily implied that he has intercourse with her, and she's not okay with it. No, none of the dancers that she works with are, and he's very nasty, and he'll kill his dancers if they don't comply with him, and the voice acting does not help. This character's
that
voice
doesn't
acting
surprise
just makes
me.
it.
Honestly, Square Enix has some of the worst voice acting I've ever seen. Final Fantasy XIV, for example, the MMO, the worst voice acting I've heard in a while.
Yeah.
And some of the worst localization teams I've ever seen, because when I'm listening to the Japanese audio, I'm reading the stuff on the screen in English, and I'm like, that doesn't match what they're saying. What the hell, guys? So this is something that's systemic within the Square Enix localization team, which I don't know why. I mean, even Bravely Default had the same issue. The Japanese audio, the translations just didn't match well, and it's unfortunate. But I don't think that's going to change with Square Enix anytime soon.
Yeah, but Primrose's character seemed very dark and brooding, and her voice actor very much emphasized that, and it's not something I kind of wanted from Primrose. I wanted something at least a bit more cheerful and not depressing. It's the whole scenario with her master and her friend and her are very upsetting. Just the dynamic I don't like.
Yeah. And
there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm not liked how it's presented. I don't like how it's presented. And then same with the captain guy. His voice acting for his parts are a little bit better. They're more just lifeless. More so, but when they're more lifeless, there's not as much to screw up.
No, I totally understand what you mean.
I don't know.
I mean, in general, that might just be part of the game itself. It kind of seems to me that the game has really dark undertones, so
maybe
that might actually be the story as well.
Yes. And it's definitely something I've thought of, and I'm okay with darker stories or more like hard truth stories. But this presentation, I just don't like with it. And I guess I'll end it there. We can move on to Dragon Quest now.
I mean, Dragon Quest Builders is it was one of the titles I was actually really excited about. If you haven't played it, you should. It's really fun.
I've played the demo on my PlayStation over and over and over, telling myself I would get it, and now I'm just gonna get the Switch version.
Yeah,
because
I got the Vita version, unfortunately, and I'm like, no, now I have to get the Switch version.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm a big Dragon Quest fan. I loved the demo. It seems really fun. We're getting that like little mount, which is really cool, exclusive to Switch.
Oh,
and
yes, exactly.
Yes, that mount looks like it's very helpful. And we're getting the game. It just looks so fun to be creative with it, and it's Dragon Quest at heart, and I'm in love with it, so I'm definitely picking that up.
Yeah, this is one of those titles that I didn't think we'd end up getting.
No, I did not think so. It's kind of, I was hoping, but I didn't think so, no.
Yeah, we did get an announcement for Dragon Quest Warriors.
Oh, true, we did, yeah.
But we haven't heard anything about that in a while.
Mm-hmm. And the 2 combo pack, right?
Yeah, which we haven't heard about in a while. So, I guess it's not too far-fetched that Dragon Quest Builders is coming out. But I gotta say that this is one of the big disappointments about this Direct, was the lack of other mentions of the other Dragon Quest games. We didn't hear more about Dragon Quest Warriors, and neither did we hear about, what is it, Dragon Quest 9?
Maybe?
The new one that just excuse me, is it 11 that's coming out, that just came out in Japan?
I think it might be 11. It might be 11.
Yeah, but that one, I mean, we haven't heard anything about that, whether it's the 3DS version or the Switch version for the Americas. And, I'm really hoping Square Enix just doesn't have their head in their asses and is deciding not to give us those games, because that would be terrible.
A shame.
For North
America.
At
the same time, we're not region locked anymore either, so
that's true.
Importing is a thing now. I don't speak Japanese, so that's a little bit of a barrier, but for the game, I might just get it,
Yeah, it actually depends.
If that's the experience.
One of the things that we've been seeing lately out of Japan, depending on the company, this is more specifically Bandai Namco has been doing it, but they've been releasing their Asia-only games. They've been releasing them
in
multi-language, and usually they're the Singaporean versions. So I know there's a couple titles that I've gotten for the PS4 and the Vita that were Singapore versions, so that I could play them in English, because that's the only way we can get them now. And so I don't believe Square Enix has hopped on that train yet.
I don't think so.
But it would be nice to see for titles that they don't want to, really spend all the money to bring over here. So
that makes sense. So maybe eventually we'll see once we potentially get more details then.
Yeah. The last big announcement from the Nintendo Direct was, of course, the Mario Odyssey. We got more footage on that, but really quickly, they announced big news on the Switch bundle with Mario Odyssey, and it comes with these nice
Joy-Cons.
The Joy-Cons themselves aren't neon red; they're like a deep, darker red, which looks
they're just called
really
red
nice.
for once. I really like that red. Yes, that red looks super nice. And the Joy-Con come in the bundle. They have a little carrying case for them too, which is super cool.
Yes, apparently you could have pre-ordered to buy it separately if that was something you're interested. I don't know if it's still available on Amazon, but who knows?
Maybe. We'll see.
But that's a pretty solid system. I think we all knew it was going to come out as a bundle for holiday because, it's Mario. But the new colors were a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll agree with that. I wasn't expecting anything but neon, really. The fact that we're not getting neon anymore is super cool. I'm really excited for that.
Yep.
And then we got some new forms and new locations announced as well, right?
Yeah.
Not really announced because we didn't really get names for a lot of the new forms or even a lot of details. But there's this little pterodactyl almost guy, and he can sort of glide or something. And there's some new enemies
Yeah, we saw a lot more in terms of what he can take over for the hat. We also got some more backgrounds about the hat. We found out that it's a ghost dude that is possessing the hat, so that he can save his ghost sister, which sounds so ridiculous, but I'm so interested in it because it's Mario. It can only work in the Mario universe. But anyway, the princess was, it was captured in a tiara that was captured by Bowser, I assume, for the wedding that they're going to be doing. I don't know.
So the whole story is that they got the wedding going on.
Yeah.
And Peach, almost like it's like one of those soap operas where they got the arranged marriage with the guy she doesn't want to be with, and the one she does want to be with, Mario, chasing after her and challenging this arranged marriage. And you got the wedding planners over there, like sort of the cast of other characters, where you got like the in-laws and whatnot, you know? And I thought that was really cool, how they're sort of going this whole soap opera thing and just running with it.
Yeah.
It's very different from Mario, and I really love how they're presenting that to us.
That's one of the things that Mario's always done well, is, the classic titles, they were able, this reminds me of, like, Sonic Mania, for example. They were able to tell such good stories without ever having any real dialogue. You know what I mean?
True, yeah.
And it'll be very curious to see if they continue this trend with Mario Odyssey. So that'll be interesting to see. In terms of recurring characters, I'm pretty sure I saw what's-her-face from the brown-haired Mario's first girlfriend.
Pauline, yes.
Pauline. She's a singer.
She's from Donkey Kong, and she's the mayor. She's the mayor. Oh, New Donk City. She's the mayor of New
I like
Donk
that.
City.
During the day, she's the mayor. At night, she's a lounge singer. I mean, whatever.
Right? Yeah.
Only in Mario Land, right? That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
But we saw,
yes, Pauline.
Yeah, we saw a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, in terms of all the new stuff, everything that I'm seeing, just in general, whether it's new or old or whatever, every single second of footage that we've seen in this game just has the essence of fun in it.
Oh yeah.
And I can't stress that. Every time I look at Mario Odyssey, I see nothing but just fun being had. And that's super cool.
There's one segment in the trailer, I hope we can edit it in here, but there's a segment where whoever's playing manages to do a super crazy combo with the hat, where he takes the hat, he throws it at like a lamppost, goes into the lamppost, comes out, and then he jumps on the hat, and then he goes in the other lamppost, and then he goes on the top of the building. I'm like, what the hell? That, from a gaming mechanical standpoint, those sorts of combos are fascinating.
Yes, they are. I'll definitely agree with that. That stood out to me as well.
Yeah, and it's one thing to be like, okay, this is a Mario game, it's going to be good, but that footage alone shows us just how much depth there's going to be in the gameplay of the game. Yes,
and maybe talk about the new locations now too. We have like a beach that is carbonated. The water is carbonated beach. It looks like a super fun water level. Like, this is the standout location for me.
It's funny because most water levels are awful and terrible. So if this one is able to break the cycle, that'll be great.
Yeah. Definitely, yes. Like, I've never been excited for a water level, but I am.
Yeah, definitely.
So, did you have a favorite location? Or
honestly, it's already been shown a billion times, but New Donk City.
New Donk City, yeah. It looks so good, though. You're right.
It's so dumb, but at the same time, something about it is, I think it's just the stark difference of derpy-looking Mario and normal normies in a city that's supposed to basically be New York. Yeah. My only hope is that they have someone with a New Yorker accent. That'll be great, but probably not.
Yeah. Have you heard about the uproar about Mario's nipples that were shown in the trailer?
Oh yeah, that's been a funny meme. No one's actually serious about it. So I really hope Nintendo just realizes that it's a joke.
Yeah.
Because if they censor that,
censoring a Mario.
I'm going to be so disappointed if they actually censor that. But it was a funny meme.
Yeah. And so we have these new locations, new forms. One thing that I'm kind of upset about, we finally got the how all these worlds are going to be connected. We finally have that revealed. It's kind of a world map where the ship sort of flies and you select it, which is kind of... I was disappointed, honestly. I was kind of hoping for some kind of hub world in some fashion.
Yeah, a lot of people were hoping for a hub world. At least, we got the inside of the Odyssey that we can dive into, which is okay, but it's still
small.
Not like... It's not a replacement,
It's not, no.
I don't know.
But the levels do like the levels look like they'll be big enough that I won't complain. But I was kind of hoping for some kind of hub world.
Yeah.
Peach's Castle, jump into paintings, man. I mean, I don't know.
I totally know what you mean. But we'll see.
The customization looks cool, I guess.
For the Odyssey,
hoping for some TARDIS. Yeah, for the Odyssey.
Yeah.
But I was hoping for some TARDIS bigger on the inside than the outside technology, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much here already that I'm happy about. Like, honestly, I was pretty impressed with the dumb screenshot technology they put in.
That's what I was gonna put in next. Talk about next.
It's kind of stupid, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, this is really funny, and the fact that you can choose like depth of field effects and all these other sorts of things. It's very curious, but it totally coincides with what they're trying to do with the Switch. The fact that they have a screenshot button on there, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. And there's gonna be people out there who have way too much fun with that feature.
Yeah, there are sometimes I look at people who share their screenshots from Smash Brothers, and I'm like, how much time did you spend on this? Why did you spend
that?
Yeah, like all of this for a meme? Are you serious?
Right.
I get it. That's what they like to do. That's fine. But it always kind of astonishes me. But I'm glad that Nintendo's doing something like that for the fans who like that. I mean,
yes,
it's nice.
And I also sort of like how they touch on this can be like directly put into a phone background or phone screensaver.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. I'm really happy about that. And I was like, phone screensaver? And then they showed it on the screen. I'm like, okay, I actually wouldn't mind that as my phone screensaver.
Yeah, I'd probably do Derpy T-Rex Mario because it's so stupid.
Yes, it is.
It's so stupid, but like, it seems so great.
It is so great, but it is so stupid. There's nothing wrong with that. But so the screenshot feature has me very, very excited. Less for the fact of actually taking the screenshots, but just like the coolness of it. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
playing around with that'll be kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that honestly, I'm probably not going to use it much, but I know that people will love it. There are a set of people who really like that sort of thing, and it's nice that they took the time to put that functionality in.
Yeah, and then we also got mini games and leaderboards and stuff, right?
Yeah, we got some of the mini games like the jump rope, which again is dumb, but whatever.
Yeah, and then we have like a race or something, and
yeah.
And honestly, I kind of really like that it's not. We have these mini games because when you're just sort of playing a Mario game, all you really expect is just playing a Mario game. But they have these little other extra things, just kill time or whatever, in there. I'm really happy about because, especially an open world game, you can just do whatever. Yeah. You could do mini games for all you want.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, most people don't seem to realize and or understand that what makes a game, what takes a game from being good to exceptional are the little things.
Yeah.
And
I'll agree with you there. Definitely.
When you have little things like little mini games that tell an extra story about the world, that helps you learn more about the universe that you're playing in, that takes a game from being good to exceptional. I mean, a perfect example of that is that card game in The Witcher. was it Gwent?
Oh, yeah, Gwent. I think, and it's its own card game.
Yeah, now. But it's little things like that tell you a lot about the universe. Or I mean, I guess a more maybe it's older now, but Sabak for Star Wars. If you played Knights of the Old Republic, it tells you that you learn through playing the minigame that people would lose their savings on gambling on this thing, and so it tells you a lot more about the universe that's created.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really excited about the fact that they have mini games in Mario.
Yeah. But I think that kind of wraps up the direct at this point, right?
Yeah,
you think we're done? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything that we saw. Was there anything? I mean, what was your to wrap this up? What was your favorite thing that you saw? I mean,
my favorite thing I saw was probably Octopath Traveler. I'm very fond of seeing Octopath Traveler, but as a whole, I'm very excited about just all these third-party bigger games like Skyrim, Wolfenstein, Doom, etc. Just seeing that really has me enthralled.
Yeah, I gotta say, the third-party support from those from Wolfenstein and such was really surprising to me. So that's I probably got to say Doom. I mean,
Doom. All right.
Mostly because that was it was so out of left field. I was not expecting it. All
right.
Was there anything that you really wanted to see that you didn't?
Was there? I think there was, and I'm totally blanking on what it was though, because there was so much good stuff though. I'm totally blanking on it. So whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the one thing that I wanted to see more of, that was I wanted to see confirmation of Monster Hunter Double Cross.
Oh yeah, I'm sure just not hopeful for that at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they gave us Monster Hunter Stories, so I imagine they'll give us Double Cross at some point. But you know, the lack of confirmation sucks. Again, I mentioned it before. No real Dragon Quest. For the other titles, we haven't seen anything about Warriors or I think it's 11, which is the next one coming out. So that was a bit of disappointment as well. But other than that, it was a good direct.
All right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you have given the direct? 10 being the best, obviously.
I'm gonna say a 9. This was just very like I said, it shattered my expectations of game lineup for the Switch. Especially early on, it set a whole new bar for me. I was very impressed with everything they had to show. The 3DS titles look great as well, and I feel like this is going to be a good upcoming year for Nintendo. I feel like a lot of good things coming and a lot of good things in the future.
Yep.
Especially after this direct, everything I saw looked great, blowed my mind. But at the same time, there have been better directs. Yeah. Like the Mario Kart 8, like the original Mario Kart 8 direct, like it was only really Mario Kart. I love that direct for some reason. I don't know.
I totally get you.
So there are very few directs better than this, but since it wasn't the best direct I've ever seen, I am going to deduct a point. It's better than a lot of the others. Definitely a 9 for me. How about you?
I'd probably give it about an 8.
All right.
I mean, we've seen we didn't really have that many new titles, so that's why I'm kind of like.
Right.
That's initially I was gonna give it like a 7.5.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's new titles. It's nice that we got some dates.
Yes.
And time frames nailed down to them, but lack of virtual console hurt. Lack of real new titles hurt. But we did see like Wolfenstein and Doom. And all this other third-party support
over for me. That's what put it over.
That's what
that's the 8 threshold.
Exactly. That's what put it from a solid 7 to a solid 8. We are going to be getting great third-party support, and as well Dragon Quest Builders, which is such a fun game. Yeah. So good all around. Not the best, but definitely not bad.
And even just looking at the whole big picture, this direct changes things outside of what we already know, because we know we have that whole list of games that are still coming, but haven't appeared in this direct or haven't appeared in any direct or anything.
Oh yeah.
Like you have Steep. What are the others? I totally forget. But like we have a whole bunch of other games, like No More Heroes, the new one that just announced.
Yep.
Like Travis Returns, and it's when you look at that wasn't in this direct at all, but in the whole big picture, that goes back to these Doom Wolfenstein games, that goes back to indie games, it goes back to just how strong the Switch is looking at the end of the day. This direct is huge, but even all these little things that we haven't talked about for a while, like Dragon Quest, as you said, if that ever comes, that'll once again increase the Switch's desirability and its success.
Yeah, totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I think we can call a wrap.
Yep. All right.
Thanks
cool.
so much for
thank
watching,
you guys
fans.
For listening. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been Blooz.
This is Jayden. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and
Yes.
yeah, we've got some more news coming up for you in the near future. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Nintendo Power Zone. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Jayden Windsong. Don't forget to check out our Twitch. We got all of us are going to start being more active in live streaming, so look forward to that too.
I am also, check the Twitter for more details, but I'm going to be starting live streams on Twitch for the Metroid Return of Samus game. I picked it up, I got my setup already, and I'm picking some dates and times, so please come up for that. Check the Twitter, and yeah, see you there.
Alright guys,
All right.
take it easy.
Alright. Yep, see ya. This has been Nintendo Power Zone. My name is Blooz.
Jayden.
Signing off.
Here we go!